are here. We are going to jump in with a really cool topic today. We are going to think about personification. You may have heard about it before, but we're going to play with it with our writing today. It's super fun. Personification is really going down and giving things or non-human things human characteristics. It's so much fun. We did it a little bit with animal fantasy last time, but we're going to do it something a little bit deeper, something a little bit more unique, and we're going to jump in right now. I have a pretty interesting book here. It's called Vowels, the War Between the Vowels and the Consonants. Now, we know that letters are not human things. Let's see how this author gives them some of those human characteristics. Let's jump on in. The war between the vowels and the consonants. Okay. For as long as any letter could remember, vowels and consonants had been enemies. Capital P's, which is where the lowercase p's grew up to be, warned their children, never trust the vowel. The long and short of it is they are sly, cunning, and two-faced creatures. Look at that. You can see they've got arms and legs. They're talking. So some of the human characteristics right now are saying that letters are sly and cunning. We know letters aren't real. They can't really do that. Let's see what else they do. And every little A, E, I, O, or U knew better than to stray into the consonant quarter. Who could imagine what horrible things a gang of roving consonants might do to an unsuspecting vowel? Those consonants walking around, that's crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. The vowels tended to be smug and stuck up. After all, there were fewer of them. Surely they felt that that made them better than the common consonants, right? Look at them, all there at a play. Do we know that letters go to plays? They don't go to plays. For this part, the consonants thought all vowels were sissies. Those silly vowel sounds, they said, laughing at each other. What sort of noise is that for a letter to make? Consonants prefer their own sounds, right or good, strong, snappy noises. All right, so we've seen all of the characteristics that they gave letters. That's pretty interesting. What I want you to do in your writing today is I want you to pick something, an object maybe, or something around the house that you think of. Maybe there's a cup, right? Maybe you've got a cup here. And what is this cup? I don't know. Could it walk around? Could it go see its friends? Could it do all those things we can't do right now, right? Oh, I don't know. So, and then for the littles, I want you to make sure you draw a really good illustration for our younger students. I want you to draw an illustration of something like this that has some human characteristics. And I want you to write a sentence or two about it. For my older students, think of a really cool story. Think of a couple objects that might be arguing or fighting or whatever the case may be. Or maybe they're sledding or they're riding horses. I don't know. But your creativity is your imagination. Use it. Bring it to the paper. Bring it to the line. Ready, set, write. All right, teachers and adults, here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump on in there with their writing today, and we're going to work on one specific thing. So I really want to make sure that we're talking about revising today. Revising is going back and changing or driving something deeper, changing the way that it's worded. But I want you to think about several things, right? One, we want to revise in a way that makes logical sense. So we want to encourage our students to think logically about what's happening with their writing and what they're doing. So we want the revision to make logical sense. The other thing that we want the revision to do is to drive a deeper understanding of what's being communicated. So the revision needs to do two things. One, it needs to make logical sense. Two, it needs to drive deeper thinking for our readers, right? Oftentimes our students get really caught up in that thinking about what they're doing from their perspective. We're often so caught up from our own perspective. It's so natural, it's so human, right? So what they need to do is drive a little bit deeper and think about what their audience is thinking or what they may or may not know. You'll notice oftentimes that students will write things from their perspective with their knowledge. We do that a lot too, but we have to go back and clarify and think about who's reading this. Do they fully understand what I'm doing? So when they're working today to do those descriptions, especially when they're talking about inanimate objects, we want to make sure that those inanimate objects are included in a way that allows the reader to understand. So all those visuals are included, right? To understand that this has that personification, those non-human character or those human characteristics for something that's non-human, right? So we want to be able to do those two things. One, needs to be logical when we're revising. Two, we need to go in there and make sure that it enhances the understanding of the text. All right, jump on in there with your kids.